Everybody, welcome to an episode of the Phantom Zone After Dark where we don't have a plan and it's probably going to reflect in everything we talk about. I am ostensibly your host, Eric Fedorchak, for the evening. Not that I'm Eric Fedorchak for the evening. My name is Eric Fedorchak. I'm your host. And we've got Arlen, we've got Lewis, we've got Hunter, because Hunter, while tallest in stature, is smallest in my mind. And possibly
Oh.
Connor showing up later.
Oh.
Yeah, we can have a surprise Connor.
So,
Well,
Uh,
now that I know where I stand with everybody.
very, very tall above me, but very small in my heart.
All right.
I want to be clear. The thoughts of Eric Fedorchak do not reflect the thoughts of the entire Phantom Zone podcast.
That's true.
LLC.
This is a hostile takeover.
Oh no!
I don't think you're aware.
Oh no!
I bought all stock in Phantom Zone.
No!
You start moaning like the thing.
I'd like to come inside now.
I've got something to show you. I don't think you're gonna like it.
Now I struggle to remember something from In the Mouth of Madness.
All you're doing is reminding me of the newest game I've been playing.
What game is that?
Bug Snacks.
Oh God!
Yeah. So cold. Here's the thing about Bug Snacks. It is weirdly cultish. It is.
Oh, I so you have not beaten it, right?
I've seen bits and pieces of the end.
Okay,
I
finished it. It's not. There's a reason why I segued into it because something that was said is basically Bug Snacks. Is my take. I don't know if we want how much I can spoil. If you care, anybody cares.
I mean, I already know everything because I asked you about it, Lou.
I know we talked about it.
Yeah, and go ahead.
The heavy midsummer vibes going on in Bug Snacks.
Yeah, well, that's actually not as crazy. It's definitely it's not a kid's game. It is not.
It is not. I gathered that. Oh.
Yeah,
it is.
You're on an island with a bunch of Grovers, from Sesame Street, and feeding them animals made of snacks, and then they turn into things. You can eventually feed them where they just become an entirely made of Bug Snacks.
It's insane.
And one guy wants to remove his head to see if it'll grow back.
No.
Yeah, I mean, everything I know about it now, this is the same company that made Octodad.
Yeah.
So I think
it's fucking crazy.
They're very good at giving something a wrapping that seems like, oh, that's cute and approachable. And what I can't speak for Octodad. I've never beaten it because I don't have the patience. But yeah, everything that Lou told me and everything I've read about Bug Snacks, I'm like, oh, this is some shit right here.
Oh yeah, it's wrapped up like a goofy kitty Pokemon game, but it's not.
No.
I from what I remember of Octodad, it does kind of tread in that area, but it never fully goes into it.
Well, when you beat Bug Snacks, if what I read was correct, it goes some places.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about any of this. Because it looked because I've been around long enough to know a lot of system launches, and every system launch, one or both of the systems has a game with these cute chibi characters on the very front, and that's all they do to sell it. That and upbeat music and bright colors. This is the launch game that you can get for your kids. And that's what I thought Bug Snacks was.
Well, that's kind of what Octodad was.
Very different.
Yeah, I guess.
Octodad
was that a launch title?
Kinda. I believe there's two of
them. Was it
a
mid-system launch title?
Well, it was a PC thing, and that came to PS4 and Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
use game type thing.
I know Greg Miller's wife worked on Bug Snacks. I don't know if she worked on fucking Octodad, but I do know this game was born in an elevator pitch. So they managed to get that out of basically an elevator pitch to Eric Pope.
I'm trying to see if there's anything about Octodad that that gets dark, but I think it's just the whole questioning about how a cephalopod is married to a human woman.
Yeah, and there's also
Yeah.
like the weird thing of like nobody can tell that he's an octopus.
Yeah, that's disconcerting. I don't understand their world.
Don't
Oh,
understand.
okay. Yeah, I'm reading the thing that basically it's kind of Pokemon Snap, and they're like, all right, well, what if we have like a waffle pillar? It's a caterpillar, but made out of waffles. So
Yes.
that's basically what their pitch was.
So I got spoilers for Bugstacks because I do have a spoiler question. Did they eat that one person?
No.
Okay, all right. That's all I want to know.
What are they called? Grumples or
Yes.
something? No Grumples were eaten.
Okay. I was really worried that it's about a cannibalistic
No, there was
cult.
no Grumple on Grumple violence.
Huh.
Grumpus.
There's no Grumple on Grumple crime.
Yeah, there was no Grumpus on Grumpus crime. No.
This
Okay.
is such a weird conversation.
This bill addresses the super grumples.
Hey, you gotta watch out, man. The Grumpinati will come after you.
Oh.
You know, you say that, I don't even know if it's a real thing or not.
That is part of the game.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, what?
Yeah.
La Casa Grumple. Yeah.
Oh no, the game literally ends with Latin.
That's
Oh god.
oh no.
I'll have to
Man.
read what it is. I'll have to look it up because I don't remember.
Yeah. It's Hunter. You need to beat it just so I can see what
Consume
your
the new
reaction
flesh.
is.
I'm gonna once
it's one of the Grumples pulls a gun out of its stomach. Yeah.
Yes.
I am heavily in the weeds on Valhalla. I'm trying to beat it before Cyberpunk comes out.
Yeah.
And,
How is that so far? Is it really good? I mean,
it's fantastic. I think
Yeah.
it's top 5 Assassin's Creed for me. I don't know
Okay.
where, but I just got to a really cool part.
Like I was listening to, I guess, the Giant Beast cast, and they were talking about it, and Vinny had brought up there's one point where he found just a Viking with an axe stuck in his head,
Yes.
and was
Yes.
just talking to the guy, and the guy's like, well, I guess you got to pull the axe out of me. He's like, yeah, but you'll die. He's like, yeah, well, Valhalla, all that, and like that is your interaction. Like,
Yes.
that sounds awesome. I'm so into that.
There's a lot
Can't
of
wait.
like silly things in that game. Like this isn't a spoiler or anything, but like I ran into a woman who's like, my husband can't fuck me because we're not raining anymore. So you have to burn down his house just so this dude can get an erection.
Wow.
It's fantastic. It's so funny.
That's great. Yeah, and isn't there like a kid whose family is like being poisoned by all of the shit underneath their house?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's so
I'd
good.
heard about that. That sounds amazing.
It is generally. It's probably like game of the year. I don't know how Cyberpunk's gonna shake out, but this is like, for me, this is high up there.
Well, let's.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk will come out when the next version of these systems come out. When we'll get a PS5 Slim,
You know what's
Xbox One X, Series X Slim.
You know what's funny is like people are like, it's gonna get delayed again. I'm like looking at it like they're pretty serious about this release date now. Like
This time.
Yes, this time. Like this one, they've been in like shareholding meetings and they're like, yes, the game is coming out on December 10th. Like, stop asking us. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's everything I've been reading. Like, I've been trying not to watch many videos about Cyberpunk because I don't want anything ruined for me about it. Like, it looks so good. Like the one video I'd seen, they were saying like, don't go into it expecting to play like a first-person shooter. Like, it's a role-playing game with a first-person shooter like view, I guess, or look to it. But that's about it. Like,
So it could be more like a Mass Effect, so like first person.
From what I understand, is like it's more like The Witcher than we think. Just because like the idea is like it's shorter than The Witcher, but it's more densely packed with stuff.
Yeah,
which is what I wanted because I never finished Witcher 3 because I was like 35 hours and I was like, this is too much. I cannot do this anymore.
Oh man, Witcher 3 is so good though. I think I actually beat all of the side missions you could get in it. Like, it's so good.
Wow.
It's good, but every time I open it up, I was like, all right, I have to open this fucking bestiary up one more time because I don't remember how to beat this fucking monster.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Once you get to a point in that game with your abilities, you didn't really have to worry too much because
Yeah.
you were a little bit overpowered. It's also if you played the Blood and Wine expansion, maybe it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
other one. There were two different expansions. One of them you could get a sword that every time you got a critical hit, it increased its damage permanently,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you could get it up to like plus 20 from what its normal attack is. So I went through and got that, and then just tore through the rest of the game so quickly because it was so easy to kill every single goddamn thing you ran into.
It's such a man. That game is good. I just wish it was a little bit shorter.
I don't know. I really enjoyed the length of it. Like, it was real world building.
There's Blood and Wine, I played a lot of the Fallout Vegas, the experience for that. I played them several times. I'm playing this, and that's what it reminds me of the most.
Yeah.
Because they managed to pack so much into that. It's really good. I love that game, but I can't finish it.
Yeah, fair.
I don't know what's everybody been up to watching, doing. I mean, I'm guessing we've all watched the newest Mandalorian at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're all up to date, are we?
Yeah.
Yep,
So,
I am.
Lou, how happy were you when you were watching that episode?
It's been something that both me and Rosario Dawson have wanted for a very long time.
That's funny.
Yeah,
and it made me get weird feelings about women with tentacle heads or whatever she has on.
She's a Twi'lek, right? I think that's
No,
what it is.
she's a different species.
No,
Oh.
it's a
She's not a
different thing.
Twi'lek?
Okay.
No, because hers has a different head thing.
Okay.
Damn, son.
Yeah, it's this was, I mean, this whole season I've really enjoyed everything I've seen so
Yeah, it's
far, but this was one of the strongest episodes I think so far of the season.
Yeah,
because you got a little bit of everything, plus it was kind of an exposition, or not an exposition, but a lore dump, for lack of a better term.
yeah. There's a lot
heavy
of
connections to other stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Togruta.
I have no idea. Who is that?
That's the species she is.
Oh, okay, that's what she is. Okay. Well, that and the mention of Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's kind of crazy because I always thought he was dead after Return of the Jedi, or even if not before that.
Well,
you didn't? Did you watch Rebels?
No,
I don't think Eric
I
watched
refuse.
Rebels.
So shut up and don't watch Rebels.
I refuse.
Well, no, we can. No, because Hunter, have you watched Rebels?
I've watched Rebels.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
ahead,
I mean to the end, or have you?
Not to the end, but I've seen enough of it.
Okay, I don't want to spoil it, but Thrawn is the big bad of the last two seasons.
I did get the Thrawn.
Okay.
I did get the Thrawn.
Yes,
okay.
and things happened to
awesome.
Thrawn. So I was surprised when his name was dropped. I was like, oh, because my memory is that he goes through some stuff. So I'm curious.
That's
to see
where the series pretty much ends, where she is looking. Her and they're looking for Thrawn.
Okay.
Because Thrawn and other character are together.
Oh, okay.
Because that's how it ends.
Oh. Well, I remember the part with that character who you're speaking of, but I did not remember, because I remember it being that what happens basically turned Thrawn into jelly, or I mean that's me filling in pieces there, but I guess no, you're reminding me now that
they're on the one thing and they're together when it happens.
Okay. So wherever they went, they're there together, having a very Superman and Vandal Savage at the end of the world type adventure.
Yes. That's actually a perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and I apologize. I wasn't thinking of Thrawn. I was thinking of one of the old white men that was an admiral or whatever. I forgot that Thrawn was the blue guy. Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking of what's his name, the CGI in Rogue One?
Yes, that's who I was thinking of. Yeah, that's why I was throwing
you mean my favorite
Grand
character,
Moff
Eric?
Tarkin or whatever.
Grand Moff. Yeah.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah,
My boy.
I forgot that guy came from the books that came after Return of the Jedi. I forget what the Timothy Zahn books. That's it. Yeah, Heir to the Empire and all that stuff.
Steve Zahn?
Yeah. Yes, Steve Zahn. Yes.
Steve Zahn. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Star of a movie with a trucker that I can't remember the name.
Bigfoot movie that we
Wasn't he also in Rescue Dawn though? The Werner Herzog Christian Bale film. Yeah, he was
in the movie.
He was actually decent in that.
Wait, Steve Zahn?
Yeah, the blonde.
Steve Zahn's been in a ton of weird shit.
Yeah,
I know, but this was the first time I saw him in a semi-serious role.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was if you haven't seen Rescue Dawn, it's actually pretty good, and it's Christian Bale doing what he does, which is just getting super skinny and emaciated. So
that's all he ever does,
risking his health. Yeah, that's
or he gets really fat.
Yeah. Well, he said he's not going to.
Yeah.
He said he's not going to do that stuff anymore because it's too much of a strain on his health.
Destroying his body.
No fucking shit.
But yeah, I don't know. Has anybody else seen anything interesting recently, or done anything, or played anything interesting recently?
I've been watching the Clone Wars. What else have I been watching? I watched. I don't know if you're into improv at all or anything, but
sometimes.
So Ben Schwartz and Thomas Middleditch have a special. Thomas Middleditch and Schwartz on Netflix, and you can watch it a single night, and it's really funny.
Is that new? Is that a recent thing, or is
that's been on for a year now? I think.
Okay, yeah, I think I've seen this. Yeah, I remember it being solid. Those two are just hilarious together.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Anything else of interest that you've been watching? Anything?
No, I'm gonna start that Blood and Zeus thing. Is that what it's called?
The Blood of Zeus, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like the animated show about Greek gods. Kind
of.
Is that by the people who did Castlevania?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. I've wanted to check that out, but I need to go back and finish the second season of Castlevania before I do anything else.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I know. I need to know about the guy who likes to make boats out of bones.
Yeah, yes, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Not Peter Skarsgård.
Peter Stormare?
Peter Stormare, that's what I'm thinking of. Fantastic.
Yeah, this would be a good show because I've been playing the shit out of Hades before this. Which that game fucking owns everything. That's Hades probably the first roguelike that I've truly clicked really well with.
It's so good.
It's so much fun. And it's so replayable and fun too.
Well, apparently to get the actual ending, you have to beat it multiple times.
Oh, I've beaten it. I pretty much can just win whenever now.
Okay.
I know someone who's cleared it 12 times. And I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I think I've definitely cleared it more than that.
And he's like, there's so much in this. I'm like,
you
gotta take a break every once in a while.
Yeah, to be able to unlock everything, you probably have to clear it 50 times.
That's crazy.
It's very they've packed that game significantly.
I've romanced all the romance people.
Oh yeah. You can fuck a lot of things in that game.
Well, it's what is that? Supergiant Games is the name of the company that put that out. Yeah, they haven't done a whole lot, but everything they've done has been really good from what I know. I remember, God, what was that first game that they had that came? Bastion was phenomenal. Bastion was so good. And I didn't really get to play any of what was it, Transistor?
Transistor's great. I don't think it's as good as Hades or Bastion.
Okay.
Well, Transistor I think was free at some point. I think it's on Game Pass.
It was on when it first came out. It was on
it was a PlayStation exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, PS Plus.
Yeah. I think it's on my PS Plus. Maybe
that's how I played it.
Yeah.
Hades is goddamn gorgeous, and it's probably the best thing I've played on my Switch.
It's so good. It's perfect for the Switch too, because you can play anywhere.
I don't know. I've been feeling the urge to pick up the new Zelda game. That's the Musou game.
Oh, Age Calamity.
Yeah, it's supposed to actually be really good.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Like every once in a while, I like to play a Muso game where I'm just like, I just want to kill as many things as I can in like one screen. And
Yeah, next to fish monster, you want to
Oh,
fuck.
the
Mhm.
Hyrule Warriors. Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's got that Breath of the Wild like aesthetic. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
The only one of those games that I ever liked, is because I'm a super nerd, is like I think they've done like
Gundam.
2 Gundam ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And being a
Those
giant
are so
fucking
good.
robot and killing other giant robots is just
It's
so
really good.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
And there's one that like they scaled the Gundams correctly. So like I can't remember. I know G Gundam is for some reason super tiny compared
It's
to
a
other
fighting.
Gundams.
It's a fighting game.
No, it was a
No.
Muso.
Oh,
Yeah, he-
might be the second
He's
one.
in like one of them you can pull Gundams from any of the series.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then but they're still to scale with all the other Gundams. So the G Gundam is like
Interesting.
super tiny compared to everything else.
I never realized that, but it makes sense that they would be super tiny because they also fight on Earth, so you have to
and
think
they have to
about
wear
that.
sombreros, and you can't make a giant sombrero.
Right? Yeah.
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 Well, no, they
Mhm.
can, but that one's a colony.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
How else will you know they're from Mexico?
Oh.
If they don't
Right.
have a
You would have
sombrero?
no idea. There would be no other way to figure it out.
I
It's
I've been-
rotating. It has artificial gravity because it's just filled with guac in the middle.
Oh god, that's
God
nacho
damn it.
man. I don't know. I've been playing a bunch of Watch Dogs Legion. Like I've been really enjoying it.
I gotta get that eventually.
I can't wait. It's on sale like everywhere. I think it's like $30 on Amazon for the disc.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. I mean, I got the digital copy, of course, like a couple weeks ago, so I got it for full price. But regardless, like Arlen, I know you'd ask, like, are each of the side missions that you're doing to recruit people unique? When I'd mentioned when I picked it up, and
Yeah.
I'm at a point now where it is starting to repeat some of it, but it's still rewarding. Like I don't, it's not like where I'm getting fatigued. Like, oh god, it's this again, because there's
Right.
enough like main story stuff that I'm doing in between, like, oh well, I really need this type of character, or like I'd like to have a backup of this type of character in case somebody dies, because I'm playing on permadeath.
Is there like a hard cap of how many of them you can recruit?
I think it's 46 is the ones you can have
sizable, like
like roster of characters to choose. Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's 46 you can have playable, and then you can also have, I want to say, probably that much, if not more, people that are just potential recruits. Because like what you do is you'll scan the people with your phone or whatever, and it'll tell you like, what their profession is, what their attributes, or at least what benefits they have, what weapon they carry, if they carry something unique. And then you just hit at least on the Xbox, you hit the right bumper and it'll save them as a recruit. And then you have to go to that particular character on the list of people to be able to choose them to do their side mission to recruit them. And like I said before, sometimes they're not fans of DedSec, so you have to do a side mission on top of the mission to get them to join you, to get them to like you, so then you can get them to join you.
Yeah, you gotta get their tea and crumpets. That's
exactly. Yep.
What is the connection to the previous games?
I have not seen any.
So wait, Aiden Pierce is somewhere in that game.
If he is, I haven't run into him. Maybe he's a character you can randomly
iconic character we all love. Oh, Marcus.
The only connection I've seen to the second game is at one point you're in an Albion base, I guess it is, or at least one of their headquarters, and there's like a torture chamber, and the dude from the second one who had that mask had like you see his mask on the desk in one of the chambers, and that's it. But it doesn't say anything about him being alive or dead or anything. That's the only connection.
I think he got fucked up in the second game.
Yeah, I think he did. I can't remember. But like I said, I feel like it's purposely trying not to have too many connections to the prior two games, just because they just want it to be like, this is just a DedSec cell in the UK.
That's a smart idea, honestly. If they're going to for these things,
Marcus was so fun though. That's like
he was. He was. While
are you saying you don't love the iconic character from the first game?
Aiden Pierce,
the sociopath.
Yeah.
I do like the villain in the first game, the rapper guy. He's like one of my favorite video game villains.
There's a villain in that game?
He's one of like 3 villains. He's like a hardcore rapper.
Aiden?
He's like a hardcore rapper, and then he also is like one of the world's greatest hackers. As a side mission, it's like a side business. It makes no fucking sense.
One of my favorite things about the first game is you can vault over Aiden's dead family's grave. It's really funny.
I don't know. While I've been playing Watch Dogs Legion, I've definitely been like, I need to re-download the second one because I had such a good time with the second one. Like, I mean, I can't tell yet if this third one is better because a lot of the things that they've introduced are really cool. Like the fact that you can hire anybody essentially to join DedSec. But I also feel like that pulls away a little bit because you don't get unique side missions as much. Like there are side missions to do for certain characters, but I've only run into, I think, 3 side mission chains as opposed to, I think it's something like 9 million potential recruits that you can have in the game. Yeah. So it's kind of all right, the fun here is strategizing how you're going to get through an area as opposed to, well, I'm going to do all these side missions to gain all these other things. Yeah, I mean there is
the second one. The second one had such a good story too.
It does.
And I mean this one has a story. I can't say how good or bad it is at this point. Like I've been enjoying it, but it definitely hasn't pulled me in as much as the second one did. But that's not to say this game isn't fun, because I mean you can get to a point where you can call in like riot drones and launch like missiles and machine gun fire down on the people below you while you're trying to protect yourself from. Or you can get one that launches tear gas bombs.
Can you summon an orbital laser from your cell phone?
No, you can't yet.
Or like a cat that turns into a tiger?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
So wait, is it like? So wait, you're saying it's like a cat that like hulks out and turns into a tiger?
Okay.
Is that your theory, Hunter?
Yeah. In Yakuza 7, there's a great summon where you summon like a house cat and it turns into a tiger and it punches someone in the face.
Oh, is that the new one?
What?
Wait, which Yakuza is that? The newest one?
Yeah, like a dragon.
Oh, I want to play that game. That game, I love that it's turn-based. Like that sold me on it. I think that I'm gonna get that next.
I don't know. For some reason, when Eric was like talking about like firing missiles, that's all I could think about is that stupid cat.
Right. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, because the game is turn-based because your character loves like
he loves
Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest, yeah.
Dragon Quest fan.
Oh wow.
So the entire game is built on like his interpretation of the world via Dragon Quest.
Oh yeah, I thought there were theories going around that this is all going on in his head.
Yeah,
like
the way all the combat is in his head.
That's awesome.
Yes, it's so good.
So when you're on the regular world walking around, does everyone follow behind you in a line like they would in a Dragon Quest game?
I think sometimes. Because like there's parts where like you have to like form a party, which is cool, but like they all have like special classes. Like I think there's a dude who like uses a lighter to blow flames at somebody. Yes. Point.
God damn,
so
I'm
good.
gonna have to get this game. Fuck.
Yes.
Fuck.
It's game of the year.
Because I tried playing the Yakuza games that are on Game Pass. Like I beat the first one on PS2, I guess it was years ago. Yeah. And I really liked it at the time, but I don't know. I don't have the patience for them like I used to.
You know what it is? Like this one has a dub, and I found that with the dub, it's easier to digest them.
Okay, that might be it.
Because like it's not the Japanese actors are fantastic and all.
Yeah, they are.
It's just like.
It's extra work.
Yes. It's also
That's what it is.
Yeah. There's a lot of dialogue.
I'm an anime guy, and I'm always a sub over dub, but like it is a lot easier to like you can actually multitask.
If the anime is short, I have easier time with subs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not a nerd, so I don't watch anime anymore.
Well, I mean, as somebody who tried playing Yakuza 0 and could not get into it for that reason, That does sound like a good sign, because that was the thing in Yakuza 0 is I was spending so much time trying to keep up with how fast the text was going and reading what they were saying, and it's like, I don't know who is what or why I'm doing this. I guess I picked it up through context clues. I do think that like having dubs is actually more beneficial in a video game. Because of the nature of
Judgment was a game that fixed that for them, because like Judgment has a full dub and it's really good.
Oh, was that the one where the guy got busted with cocaine? The voice actor or whatever. Yeah. He's.
They had to erase him from the game.
Yeah, they had to erase him.
He was
from
just
Japan.
getting into character. He was super messy.
They had to erase him from Japan.
Well, you joke, but drug offenses in Japan are huge.
Yeah, they're pretty serious over there. Yeah, I don't know. Arlen, with what you were saying, like about dubs probably making it easier to get into, I think it's also that I inherently find like the structure, like the traditional structure of like Yakuza, like not the games, but the criminal organization, just kind of fucking goofy.
It is very goofy.
Yeah.
Like I part of me is like, all right, I get what's going on here, but I'm like, but this is stupid. Like this fat bald old man is somehow in charge of this guy who's just done like all of his work for him. Like I don't get it.
Well, it's the same thing in like any Mafia game.
Well,
I guess.
Well, in Mafia 2, you kill a lot of them.
Like
like
Don Corleone in Godfather isn't like doing fucking anything.
True, but I think there's a separation between Japanese Mafia and American Mafia in that in American Mafia, I guess the assumption is that it's more like chess. I don't know why that would be the case, but you're thinking of more as a
corporation. It's like more of a corporation.
Yes, it's also that is the other thing. Is most of them they make most of their money from their technically legitimate businesses.
Yeah, like the whole plot of Yakuza is about real estate. Like
I would say what has ruined it, I think, to me, is how much scarier and cinematically like the Russian Mafia is.
Yes.
I think they're the ones who kind of ruined it, because it's like they're just fucking brutal.
Yeah, unless you're Bert Kreischer, you have no chance against the Mafia.
Yeah. Right, exactly. I think there's also the American Mafia. It's a lot of guns. A lot of other mafia organizations all over the world, they're in places with strict, heavy gun laws where you have to stab people. Like, you're not gonna get a gun very easily.
Or in Japan, you just have to beat someone with karate.
Yes.
Yeah, you just have to beat them within an inch of their life.
So
I think to Eric's point, it's really dumb when this big fat guy is ordering you to do something where it's like, why don't I just stab you right now?
Yeah.
Why don't I?
Over. Yeah.
It's tradition and honor, but again, it's like it's not too different. I guess it's also like they're more historic. They're still more traditional compared to like even in modern sense.
Yeah.
To like the Italian mafia is.
Right. Isn't it like a thing like feudal Japan type thing where it's like structured?
Oh, it has ties back to like the samurai.
Yeah, it does. Well, because I know one of the big Yakuza families is also a former big samurai family. So
totally. And then Jared Leto was there.
Yes.
Yeah, Jared Leto continues to be there.
And Tom Cruise also helped them win a war.
Yeah.
Do you think they hate Jared Leto?
They have to, because we hate him. So
no, I feel like there is such a like we know like when they do those like weird like Japanese commercials, like I feel like there's an enjoyment of like Dance for Me, White Man. In Korea, throwing money at them.
In Korea, apparently Conan O'Brien is very big, so it's like a thing. I think there's.
Well, he's like two Koreans on top of each other.
Well, this is true. This is.
I can say I am actually Korean.
Well, yeah. So jumping off of Hunter's, was it Hunter who just said the thing about Conan?
Yeah.
To that point, and I don't like making this comparison, But if we think of Jared Leto as being a similar person type to, say, Johnny Depp, I know Johnny Depp is like way bigger in Japan than he is even here. Like there are some real Johnny Depp stans in Japan.
They love Pirates of the Caribbean.
They do. They
And
really do.
Grindelwald, public masturbation.
Yeah, they really liked Sweeney Todd. It just spoke to them for some reason. This movie about pies full of human parts.
And demon barbers.
Yeah. So yeah, they were very into that. So I feel like Jared Leto has a similar enough vibe that maybe Japan like fucking loves him. Maybe they're like, oh, Jared Leto. I'm not doing a full accent. Anybody out there? Because no,
You got close. You got close. You danced up to the line and then backed up.
I realized
I'm a fan of Jared Leto. I live in Japan.
You didn't replace the L with an R, so congratulations on not jumping over that cliff.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like it's the idea of like it's American culture is like it's what we do. Like it's our number one commodity is our culture.
Yeah.
Right.
So like to them, it's like it's everything is the bigger and better. We just don't have that thing here for other countries. I guess like sometimes with like the British royals, like I don't understand why people give any shit about them, but people care about them here.
I mean, yeah, it's a weird thing. I think that comes a lot from like Canadians to come to the US. I feel like that's where that comes from.
I don't know why our news covers them at all.
Who gives a shit about the Queen, honestly?
While I agree, like if the show about her is any indication and at all accurate, I guess she has more influence than most people think. But I agree, like why any American at all cares about the weddings or who's marrying who is like what does that matter?
I think it's because we've at least in the United States there's been that whole buildup of like fantasy and sword and sorcery and stuff like that, and that's that aspect of the American like psyche.
You know what I bet it is?
Sated.
Is there is no other like big monarchy out there, and England's barely a monarchy.
True.
That are out and about and do shit. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and I'll say this: the white people of this country, our heritage often comes from the European monarchy.
Yes, hello, I'm white.
Yes, I am the white man. So like, I get having a minor obsession with that, I guess, and it is true. Like, England is the last monarchy where you really feel it, I guess, where it's like that's a monarchy. They're the ones where you know them by name, and I couldn't tell you who the king and queen of Sweden are I
don't think they have them.
No, they do. They do. That's I only know that because of what I know about the British monarchy, and that they have like cousins who are princes and princesses elsewhere. But I couldn't
take members of the royal family who were like walking around out and about. Whoa, what the fuck? That
3 times
that I didn't realize were still alive. I thought they died.
What's funny is like the only other place where I can really think of that there's like these big monarchies is like the Middle East.
Right. Those are the places where it's still a thing. In Europe, it's this one monarchy, and all the rest of them, again, they are all familially linked to the other pre-existing monarchy. So they're like
they're all inbred monster people.
Well, and that's the thing too with the UK.
And they buy
is like
SNK.
Yes, they do. With the UK though, like it's there only for the pomp and circumstance of it. It's not really has anything to do with real governing, from what I know. Like, you know, that's why Boris Johnson, the prime minister, is actually doing supposedly the work of being the prime minister, while the queen is just like, yes, the corgis.
That's if she can make noise. She's 94.
Feed my daughter-in-law to the snake gods.
She's not even alive. She's just like an amalgamation of corgis.
Who's that guy? Andrew?
At this point, yes, I think that's true. Again, my understanding based off of the show, which is Queen aganda, like it's just royal family propaganda to the T.
Oh,
it's
yes.
like light influence
To the
here and
T, huh?
there. It's like a little, like it's a word. She says a sentence one way, and maybe it influences how a prime minister might think. But it's like very light. They've really tried to make sure that the queen is there just to be there, to show up occasionally.
She's there to wave and greet people.
And to
And-
give no opinion whatsoever on how the country runs.
And to turn into a giant snake creature and fight over the souls
Right.
of the homeless with Prince
Yeah.
Albert.
Yeah.
To circle back to the Japan thing, I was thinking, I wonder if like their fascination with some of our celebrities is like, or like their exotic. How would you say exoticism?
Maybe. I know they
Yes,
love.
I think
they
that-
love.
well, I think that's
France.
just a thing that every
'Cause-
culture has to some degree.
Because like you have to remember that
yeah.
like in like those countries, they are 99% Japanese,
Right.
Korean.
Yes.
So it's like you're almost never seeing anybody of another ethnicity.
That
Mhm.
explains why they're so obsessed with France. Because like, isn't there a big thing like they love Paris?
Really? I don't know. I've never heard of the Japanese being Francophiles, but you know.
Because
Yeah.
like, there's like a thing in anime and stuff like that where like they love France.
I think it's because
know,
they're
that-
anti-England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
I think that's what it is. Because England tried to
Mhm.
colonize them a lot. And so France is like opposite of England.
Also, the
Well-
Japanese version of America is always hilarious. It's
Yes.
always like
Well,
a
yes, the
hamburger.
Japanese version of America is freaking. Oh God, it's. I mean, to go back to G Gundam, their vision of America and their champion for America is a boxer with
Hell
white
yeah.
and blue hair, who constantly has 4 to 5 women on his arm at any given time.
Their image of America is like Rocky IV, but
Yes.
everybody is Apollo, but except Apollo Creed is white.
Yes.
Yes.
Or Rocky II, but Apollo Creed's white. Like whatever version, it's like it's insane.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
like anytime
insane.
they decide to include anybody of another race that's not white or Asian,
Oh.
it is
It's
Questionable.
woof.
Questionable at best.
Well, I would.
Mhm.
Lou, I would even say other Asians. It's questionable. Like,
Oh no, other Asians, it's purposeful.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh, we have a Chinese character. Let's see how we can undermine anybody's opinions
Yeah.
of China.
The Chinese character is always evil and ugly and conniving, and he's always going to be a turncoat.
Or just silly, just like a complete and total goofball that you don't even have to care about or pay attention to. It's real. There's some real Asian racism going on there that's really fascinating. That I don't know how many white people actually understand it.
Oh yeah, I know of it
yeah.
because like literally like my grandma being Korean would like hated, despised the Japanese. Was nonplussed about China, but despised the Japanese.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Well, it's what happens when another country tries to invade you over and over again throughout all history.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not that different from like France tried to invade England like every 200 years, so like, there's still some animosity there. Not as much as there was in the past, but that's a thing that did happen in Europe. I think
There's
having
probably
a
still
couple
some of that
massive
really
wars changed that.
everybody looks at Russia and Germany like, fuck you guys.
Well,
What do you guys?
Pretty much.
there's also like the Irish thing, right? Where like they don't like the rest of the UK or just Britain.
Well, no, it's the
Well,
one part of Ireland.
Hunter, you just opened a giant can of worms.
I don't know.
Just
I'm
like
not
the
a
biggest can of
geopolitical-
worms. I can't go into it, but
Go watch
at some
Patriot
point,
Games.
do not watch Patriot games if
not?
that's what you want. If that's how you want to educate yourself, just know this: the British were there, and they probably shouldn't have been there. And
Okay,
the Irish
fair.
did not
Like
take
most
kindly.
countries.
You see, the British used Ireland as a testing spot for everything else that they would do over the next 600 years.
Okay, I get it now. Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they're like,
to some extent, they did that to Scotland as well. Not quite as much as
Yes.
Ireland, but yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, Ireland and Scotland, they're definitely not very big fans.
That's
of,
what. Yeah, if you go watch a lot of '80s movies, there's a reason why there's a lot of Irish terrorism.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and then also with the Protestants and Catholics trying to kill each other in Ireland as well.
And
That's-
rape.
Oh yeah, well that's
Mhm.
tied into everything.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
The Protestants are the pro-British, and the Catholics are the
The IRA. Yeah.
IRA.
The Protestants they're real weird. They try to tell Irish people to go home because they claim that they were there first, which is a real
Sure.
weird stance.
How
That
does
is
that
in no
work?
way backed up. If you, I don't
That
know.
doesn't even make sense. It's like you're
They
telling your
claim
cousin,
that they were there first, and I don't
but
don't
they're
know
the same
how.
people.
Exactly.
I don't
But they will tell
understand.
you that they were there first. It's a weird thing that has happened to Protestant
It's
Irish.
still- I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a history guy.
Yeah,
I
I
would
don't
not
expect
consider
you-
myself a smart man.
you walk into a minefield with like history teacher and somebody who's really into history and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, let's move on to something equally as horrible.
And Eric's been here.
I've mostly been watching
Exactly.
films. Other than I'm
Not movies.
still playing Fallen Order.
Films.
Films. I've been playing Fallen Order because I get to everything a year late. That's just how I do it.
Yeah, that's
Fallen
fine.
Order is great. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's really good.
I can't wait to get to the end.
With all the Dark Souls talk that people had, I was expecting to be like, I can't do this, but no, I am doing extremely well. I've thought about upping my hardness level multiple times, and I did because I started in the story mode. So I might still because it's really enjoyable. It's a very well made game. If I'm saying I need to up my hardness level, because that means it's very intuitive,
Probably,
very well designed.
with the exception of Squadron, it probably has the most money poured into it. It's very.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is.
You can tell too. It feels like
it's
It's AAA almost quadruple.
it's EA making up for what they had been doing with the Star Wars license, which was squandering it. And they're like, oh, I guess we should actually make a good game.
Yeah.
And look, they
now-
did.
And it's not just that; like it's also written very well, and going back to like Mandalorian, like ties into everything from Clone Wars to Rebels, like and the main story, like it ties into everything, like a lot into Rebels actually, because you get like kind of backstory into throwaway characters in Rebels.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Luke, fill me in real quick. Who is the guy in the holograms? Is he? I forgot who he was. Is he somebody that we should know? The bald guy who's like talking to him through like a holocron and telling him about. Huh?
No, he's a game guy.
Yes.
Okay.
He's
So he's
the
not
the Jedi Master. You mean?
Yes.
I can't remember
he's
his
just the
name.
game guy. All the stuff for shows are the what the shit is their name? They're not Sith. What the fuck are they called?
Yes.
Oh, the Night Sisters.
The second.
Well, the Night Sisters are
brother.
Clone Wars tie-in, and then the first brother and the second sister. They have a name. God damn it.
Jedi Killers.
Death Watch.
Inquisitors.
They're the same.
Inquisitors.
Yeah, Inquisitors. Yeah,
Yes.
Jedi Killer is the thing from Rise, which we don't need to talk about.
Great movie.
Fantastic film. Better than Rogue One, according to people on Twitter.
I will fucking fight all of them.
I know. Anyways, that game's great. Fucking, if you still haven't played it, anybody out there, go give it a shot because it's really great. And it's on Game Pass right now because they officially have the EA collection, and that's why I'm playing it. And it was on sale for like $1 when I signed up a week ago or so.
If you have Game Pass, you get EA Play is now part of Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude. Yeah. I booted up Dante's Inferno the other day because I could.
Yeah. Well, that was a Games with Gold a while ago, but that game actually isn't bad. I don't care what anybody says.
It's not awful. I'll say that.
It's like a God of War-esque game, right?
Yeah. It's a very competent.
I played it a little bit.
It is a fun action game. I'll give it that.
and it looks really good because it runs really smoothly. One thing I did want to bring up real quick, Arlen, with you mentioning that your thing
Mhm.
about changing the difficulty on Fallen Order. The nice thing with that
Mhm.
is it doesn't like lock you into a difficulty. Like if you're playing on a
Yeah.
harder difficulty for a bit and you're like, oh, I don't like this as much, you can turn it back down and it's fine.
Oh.
Yeah,
The game just adjusts right to it.
the difficulty settings on that game are really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I switch back and forth. Like occasionally I get stuck and I'm just like, all right, well I'll just blaze
Right.
through this part.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest parts for me in any game actually are usually the puzzles because I'm that person who will miss everything but one piece and just be like wandering around for hours trying to figure it out.
There are some complicated fucking puzzles in that game.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't remember. It had like giant balls that you had to force.
I don't
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that's some
Yeah.
of that stuff is optional too, and I think some of the optional ones are
Oh.
even more difficult. Well, no, I mean it's only optional because it'll get you like an extra like health refill or like extend your force use or whatever.
A
But
lot
like
of those
Some
a
of
lot of
those
puzzles remind me of the Tomb Raider reboot. Like that and Uncharted.
Yeah.
Like they
Right.
there's heavy inspiration
Mhm.
between the two. It's
I
just
can see that.
it's good.
Yeah.
So what else were you gonna mention, Arlen? You it sounded like you're
Oh,
trying to transition away from Fallen Order.
yes. So some films. I think we mentioned Possessor on a previous episode.
Yeah, I think we did.
The film produced by David Cronenberg's Loins.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Directed by Brandon Cronenberg. I watched the uncut cut because why not? And y'all need to watch this movie. I'm not gonna say it's a Mandy, but Mandy is in it, so like that's something.
Interesting.
Mandy the person?
The
character Mandy.
No, the actress who played Mandy in the film, Mandy.
Gotcha.
But there's some dope stuff in this movie. Some pretty cool visuals.
Well, what is it about? Because I've only seen the cover of or the poster,
Oh.
and I knew about it being a Cronenberg child film, but other than that, I didn't know what it was about.
So the plot is very Cronenberg. I'm just gonna read what's on the letterbox in front of me. Tasia Voss, great, automatically already pretty great. An elite corporate assassin uses brain implant technology to take control of other people's bodies.
Okay.
Terminate high-profile targets.
That's pretty sick.
Can you think of anything more Brandon Cronenberg?
Well, yeah, that is Cronenberg as you can really get, except it would have to add but he's using his flesh gun, like something along those lines. But yeah, the apple doesn't fall far from the weird flesh tree with circuitry.
Exactly.
Is it super body horror-y?
No, that's the thing. It's mostly like weird artsy visuals. It's not as, but it is like hyper violent in some moments.
I like that.
Yeah, like there's a thing that happens to Sean Bean that
no,
that nobody will ever expect, and it's not a spoiler.
Does he survive
for me
the
to
movie?
say that this. Well, I'm not gonna say. Well, so this might depend on what cut you watch, because in my cut, I think he dies, but I've heard people talk about the regular cut where it doesn't. To them, he didn't die, so I don't know. I really don't know whether or not he dies. I know that there's a couple other people in this. Christopher Abbott, who's an actor some people might recognize from the face, but I don't know if people know the name. Jennifer Jason Leigh is also in this as like the handler for this implant technology. No, that's Jason Leigh. Jennifer Jason Leigh is I think most people now would know her from Hateful Eight. I think. Yeah.
Oh, is she? Okay, I know. Yeah. Okay.
Either that or she's in Back to the Future, right?
No, she's in
Ye-
Fast Times.
She's the girlfriend in one of them, isn't she?
Yeah, she was, or was that Elizabeth Shue who replaced her in
Elizabeth Shue replaced what?
whoever that
I
one
can't
actress
remember her
was
name.
from
Yeah.
Back to the Future
Okay.
1. Yeah, I always got them confused too because they, especially in the
They
80s.
exist at the same time as
Yeah.
like the same
Mhm.
being.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
yeah.
like someone hit copy and paste, but they missed like 2 of the letters off of a phrase, so it's super close, but it's not the exact same thing. So yeah,
Like I'm
they're
literally like, oh, was she in this movie? I'm looking, that's not IMDb. That must be the other one.
yep, yeah,
Yeah. The older one that's probably the best is Fast Times because it's prime her and yeah. But anyway, she's also pretty solid. Everybody's solid in the movie. It's very well acted. The visuals, like I said, are freaking insane. It's a good movie to get drunk or, a little high if you have the option.
funny tobacco.
And and sit back and watch Andrea Riseborough just fucking act up as fucking Storm. Because yeah, she's pretty great. Also, it's just a little bit more from the summary. Voss becomes trapped in her subject's mind in this latest assignment, so it's very like control kind of in some places. Like it has that sort of vibe to it. That's what I thought of the most while I was watching it. It felt like
That's pretty sick.
a very low down, gritty version of Control. And somebody pointed out to me that it's also kind of like Inception. It's like Inception if everything really, really mattered. So yeah, that's one thing that I watched recently that I definitely suggest people check out.
Real quick, I wonder if Jennifer Jason Leigh chose to be in this because she was in Existenz, which is a David Cronenberg film. But
Maybe.
I don't know how many of you have actually seen that, which that movie's phenomenal. Oh man, that movie's great. You should check it out. It's actually about a video game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, you guys have never seen Existenz?
No, I think Existenz is one of those ones that just missed an entire generation of people.
It's really good. It's Jude Law and Jennifer Jason Leigh, and it's totally worth checking out.
Scott.
Yeah.
Watson.
I probably will watch it.
It's got the hot Pope.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck me, eyes Pope.
Sexy Pope.
Yeah, he's all over that shit.
One other follow-up question, Arlen. Have you seen Antiviral yet?
The other
Brandon Cronenberg
I'm gonna
film?
watch it now. Yeah, I'm gonna now that I've seen Possessor, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Antiviral at some point. I've heard it's kind of gross, but that's
from what I remember.
I'll get.
But it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
What a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah. No, you go ahead.
No. Go ahead. That's what I was going to say.
Another thing that I watched that Eric, you might be interested in. It's that Shudder documentary about The Exorcist. William A Leap of Faith.
Oh, that's on Shudder. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
And based off of our past with William Friedkin and documentaries, this is much better than Father Amorth because it's not an old
fake.
Man trying to tell you that demons are real.
It's not fake. It's not a big fucking joke. We're like, all this happened, but we just didn't have the cameras with at the time.
I don't know. The neurosurgeon with no evidence. Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot, Hunter, that you had seen it too. God fucking damn that documentary.
It still cracks me up that dude just saw a video. Is like, I know exactly what's wrong with her. I can diagnose her.
I am a doctor.
Fucking dumb. That documentary does have like a clip in this movie at some point, and I got mad when it happened because like, God damn it, you reminded me of that documentary now. But it's a much more subjective documentary. It's really just Friedkin walking through the making of that movie. It's very his point of view. It's a lot of like footage from the movie and also some behind the scenes footage that's really interesting. I had never seen or heard how Linda Blair sounded saying those lines.
Wait, she
before.
before they
yeah.
That
pitch
wasn't her
shifted it.
voice. That wasn't her voice.
No.
They replaced her with this woman who was she did like a lot of animation stuff and like musicals.
I thought you were gonna say
So-
with a woman who did a lot of drugs. I was like, yeah, probably.
Well, yes, well, probably. Well, actually, there's a story about her being in AA, and how she
Oh.
had to like gargle eggs and whiskey to get her voice
My favorite.
down to that pitch.
That sounds horrific.
Yeah, it does sound pretty
Wait,
great.
that's what I have for breakfast.
But they got her because they're like, well, we need somebody who can sound like they're a woman and a man at the same time. I'm not exactly sure how they got to this woman, but I think it worked in the end. But hearing Linda Blair say those lines,
at that AA meeting.
Do you think?
Yeah,
do you think she was
fascinating.
insulted? Do you think she was insulted when she found that out? Like, you want me because why?
I don't know if they told her that specific detail, but that would be interesting. So you think my voice sounds manly, huh? You think I have a non-feminine voice? Yeah, like Linda Blair saying this voice, that's far too vulgar to display power, Karis. It's just like, oh god, you're such a little girl. It's
Nice.
There's a lot of stuff like that. It's really fun. Yeah, and the recently departed guy who we confused for the other guy.
Well, there's a
I
lot
can't
of
remember his
those.
fucking name.
Christopher Plummer and Christopher Guest. Yeah.
Yes, yes, Christopher Plummer and his
Christopher Guest.
his equal.
Fuck, I
His
can't
reverse
remember.
flash. Christopher
Sweet.
Guest.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a story about like, well, Friedkin didn't slap him. No,
What?
he did. Something like that. He came from that school of you sometimes have to slap your actor to get a
Yeah.
reaction from them.
I've heard this.
So he has some stories about that.
That's hilarious.
Stories about shooting a rifle during the
Whoa.
filming to get
Jesus
people to react.
Christ.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff from an absolute
Hollywood-
maniac.
There's a period of time in Hollywood where I would just like be scared to exist.
What
Oh
book?
yeah.
Did you hear this in a book or read it in a book?
No, this
this
is
is
a
in the
documentary.
documentary.
Yeah, it's on
There's
Shudder.
There's a book that I've been meaning to read. I think it's the Joe Esterhaus book about Hollywood at that time. And
Yeah, I know what
think
one you're
it-
talking about.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
like a lot of these same people, and Esterhaus is like a giant piece of garbage, but
Mhm.
he was there to make all of these movies.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Does Friedkin talk at all about how they almost broke Ellen Burstyn's back when they pulled her back on that pulley system?
I think he does.
Okay.
I think that happened. A
All right.
lot of the stuff you probably already know comes up, but some stuff that I didn't actually know about also happens. The story of the score is pretty cool. All that stuff.
That
Yeah.
The Shudder documentary, Cursed Films. I don't know. We all saw that. right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did.
I saw bits and pieces of it. I didn't watch all of the
So, like,
episodes.
How would you say that overlaps? Like,
There's not a lot of overlap because it's very much like Friedkin and his time making the movie. Like he's the only person that you see on screen. Other than that, it's all footage from the movie or behind the scenes.
interesting.
It's really it's the same documentary director who did The People versus George Lucas, Memory, Origins of Alien.
Okay, all right, gotta watch
Yeah.
that one.
And that
right
one's
up my
actually
alley.
really good also. I've seen People versus George Lucas, but that was like 8 years ago. So
Does the
I
dude in
can't-
that movie summon UFOs by jerking off?
No, I can't say that he does. And then this guy did Dock of the Dead, which was if my memory is correct, it's just all about the making of Night of the Living Dead, and then the reaction from people after it came out. And that one I remember being very good as well.
In that documentary, did they mention how George Romero fucked up by not securing the rights to Night of the Living Dead, and that's why he's never made a penny off of it since it's been out?
Yeah, they talk about that quite a bit, and they talk about they talk about the stuff that everybody knows, that the movie was like delivered on the day that MLK was shot and stuff like that. Yeah,
I smell a conspiracy.
Aquatic werewolves.
Yeah, and then he did another documentary, which is all about the shower scene from Psycho.
Excuse me. Hold on. Wait. An entire. How long is this documentary?
It's like 90 minutes. This is the only one that I haven't watched.
How is
It's Hunter. We live in a world where an entire documentary was made about theories about The Shining. So it's not that crazy that somebody would make a documentary about the shower scene. I actually do think I tried watching this one. This is the only one of his. That's the only one of his that I haven't watched from beginning to end, because this guy's pretty good. Alex O'Phillippe. He does good stuff, and it's all genre related documentaries. So I definitely suggest Leap of Faith for anybody who hasn't seen it. Do not watch The Father, The Devil and Father Remorse, unless you want to be real angry.
Or you want to laugh.
Right. Yeah. Or actually, we never got an answer on this. If you watch it, tell us if the audio was dubbed in after the fact.
No.
Because we still don't know. It's one of those things where, like, was that ADR audio or was it not? And is William Friedkin really trying to pass ADR off as authentic audio? It's a question that will never get answered. Because Friedkin is a crazy old man.
I mixed up the other doc I like, kind of similar, that I heard about that I need to watch. I think it came out a couple of years, like 7 years ago. Milius, about John Milius.
Oh yeah, that one's good. That one's pretty solid.
Which he's the guy that like helped write on. He's like the super right wing guy that helped write into Conan, Red Dawn, Miami Vice, like all that, like everything about guns and Genghis Khan in any movie you've ever watched is from Milius.
Well, because he's behind the scenes on some of the biggest movies ever made. He's not talked about as much, probably because of his political leanings.
He was like a script doctor kind of guy in Hollywood.
But also like best friends to a lot of those people as well.
I wish I could think of anything I've watched recently that was new, but I've just been kind of rewatching stuff I've seen before. I did start watching Utopia on Amazon Prime, which I know that just got canceled. So there's a single season of it out there, and what I saw was really good, and it was pretty goddamn violent.
Is that the one Morrison wrote on?
No, you're thinking of the one that was on CBS, I think, All Access. It's an adaptation of an Adolphus Huxley book. I can't remember what it is. But no, this is a show that was based on a British show that I guess they took some liberties with, but the whole idea is that there's a comic book that is able to predict these future pandemics. So the timing on the show coming out was
awesome,
impeccable. But and it was cool. It was funny. It was very violent at points, but I guess just for once hearing about a streaming service actually canceling a show was weird, because like we've talked about before, it seems like Netflix is just like, whatever, let it keep going. Who cares?
Right.
So the fact that Amazon Prime was like, nope, one season, you're done.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Based on anything?
It's like I said, it's loosely, or maybe it's more than loosely, but as far as I know, it was based on a British TV show, which is also apparently on Amazon Prime, that only lasted 2 seasons.
Huh.
I guess this is just kind of like a
Noticing
trope
a
I've
theme
seen
here.
before.
What was that? What was that, Lou?
I was just saying, I guess this is just like a trope I've seen before. Because it sounds like kind of finding an underground comic book that like is telling you what's going on. Seems like it's
It
a
does.
trope I've seen in comics and anime and stuff before.
Yeah, but it was pretty good, and I watched The Boys season 2 because my free trial ran out before I could finish it. But I mean, I got through all of the first season of The Boys and most of the second season, and that show's so good. It's so good. They did such a good job.
That's my next one because I just started watching Perry Mason.
Yes.
Which I knew it was going to be a dark show. Did not think we were going to start off that fucking dark in episode 1.
Yeah, man.
Real awkward thing to watch with my wife and my mother-in-law.
Yeah,
Right,
isn't that episode? Isn't it the episode with Fatty Arbuckle in it?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that's all I need to know. I haven't gotten around to watching that yet, so that makes me need to watch it now.
Yeah, it's good. Like the acting is awesome. I cannot wait to see Tatiana Maslany. Like, I love her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's. There are things that happen in that show that I'm like, yes, that was great. Yeah. What was I was going to say something about Utopia. Looking at it, like I was very excited for that. Gillian Flynn and Fincher were both on it. Like, well, I'll get to it eventually someday.
Actually, I think Fincher dropped out of it at some point. I can't remember. Maybe I'm confusing that with something else I read about recently.
He's still credited as a creator, so that's probably true.
Okay,
he might. Yeah.
I mean, I know.
Also,
Yeah. No, go ahead.
It looks like it is based off of a novel from 2002.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I might have also been confusing it with the recent news that Joss Whedon is dropping out of whatever that HBO show he was doing.
I wonder why.
Yeah, trying to get away from the re-release of Justice League. So with the Whedon cut of Justice League, I read one thing saying that, or not Whedon, Jesus Christ,
Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut of Justice League.
Whedon cut.
I mean,
hashtag release the Whedon cut.
Please, or re-release it after this one comes out. The Snyder cut, I'd seen something where Zack Snyder had said like, "Oh, it's only like 4 extra minutes of footage." And then I'd seen another thing with him saying, "Oh, it's like an hour and a half of more footage." Which the fuck is it?
Okay, so I can explain this.
It's 4 minutes of newly shot footage. The rest
okay.
Yes. It's stuff we haven't. The rest of it's stuff we haven't seen. So presumably the new footage is with Amber Heard, which we were all crying out for.
Yeah.
And who was
Jared
the other?
Leto.
And Jared Leto again.
Yeah. Man, I mean, the fans demanded it.
Did you see that shit where it's like, you will not look the same? I was like, of course you won't.
Right. Because you don't bring him back and redesign him at this point. You've taken enough slings and arrows at this point to be like, let's just do a redesign. Nobody's going to care. This is not going to matter.
I don't know. I hope he looks exactly the same, and they brought him back just for him to get shot in the fucking face.
I hope
I would be cool with that as well. Yeah.
You know what I wish is like he has one less tattoo.
Yeah.
You know what?
Honestly, if you just take the damage tattoo away, whatever.
I hope they asked him to film a bunch of stuff, and then it's literally just him getting eaten by a pair of demons. Like we don't even see him dead. It's just his dead body being eaten by parademons. We don't even see the kill. That's just it.
Yeah,
and they're just kicking him and eating him.
Like when is this supposed to be releasing? The Snyder Cut?
In January or February? Okay. And by releasing you mean 4 episodic over 1 hour plus over 4 weeks, I believe.
Fucking kill me. I'm not watching a single minute of it.
Zack Snyder's The Justice League, the miniseries.
I don't care. I've tried so hard. I don't care.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it all. I don't care. Like,
I'm like, part of me's like, I want. You gotta see it. You gotta see what it was. And then I thought about it more and more. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing that anyone has ever done.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about before we started recording. It's like, it's a movie where you've only introduced 3 of your characters, and you have to introduce the other 7 or whatever they have for reasons.
Right. It's So,
but also Martian Manhunter is supposed to be in this one, and
he is.
Wait, what?
He is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be the dude from Man of Steel.
He's a general. He's a general from Man of Steel.
Sure he is.
He showed a picture of his design.
You know,
but we're getting Darkseid.
I don't.
I agree. Okay, first of all, that Darkseid looks shit. I hate that Darkseid. Passion. It looks stupid.
It looks as bad as Steppenwolf. Like it's.
It's Steppenwolf. The new Steppenwolf is fucking stupid.
Yeah, they made him look even dumber.
Well, I just don't understand. It's like everybody likes those characters because they're Kirby's characters.
Yes.
Why are you not making them look like Kirby characters? The fucking old cartoon of Justice League, they still look like fucking Kirby characters.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, on that note, it's not like we've had multiple movies before of them in their Kirby costumes.
Yeah.
No, we never have.
It's the first time you put them on screen and you're doing these weird alternate takes that you're explaining with explanations that make no sense for those characters.
They don't wear clothes
whatsoever.
Darkseid's just fucking shredded.
It's shit that they would have tried in 2003.
Like, right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah, it feels like late 80s, early 90s movie bullshit. Like when we did our Batman review, it feels like something from that period of time.
Batman's gonna be a better movie.
You say that, but like those movies have color.
They do,
but that's not my point, Lou. The way that they'll look at a concept or a character, and you'll get the outline of the character, you'll get certain aspects of the character, but large sections of who that character is and how we interpret that character and how we think of that character are just jettisoned.
I mean, if you
that's how this feels looking at them.
Thanos. Thanos is like, he's not super accurate, I'd call him. I'd say he's true to the spirit of like that design.
Like 80% accurate.
Yeah.
But even then, like his costume is like
it has color.
Insane. Yeah. It's
the only character I do think it's all because we're different. We're not like the MCU. We're the serious. We're the movies for the grown-ups. It's like they took a half step past what the Fox X-Men movies, the original ones, were.
Yes.
It's like they're not in black leather.
And I think we said
they're in gray and black leather.
Yes. In previous episodes, like way back when, it's like I don't care that they're dark and gritty. I've never cared. Like that's not the problem.
That's never been my problem either. I like,
but there's also
make
like
them dark and gritty.
There's only 5 characters where dark and gritty like really fits the aesthetic.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Well, here's the thing: if most of your characters that you're showing on screen make sense being dark and gritty, then sure, have the other characters be darker and grittier than you would normally see them.
Batman needs something to bounce off of because I mean they're just two sociopaths.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like it's why Momoa is such a standout in that movie because he doesn't fit the rest of the fucking movie at all.
Yeah,
he's in another movie. He's in an actual he's in his Aquaman movie.
He is. He's 100% just doing what he's gonna be doing for an entire movie, and it's more entertaining than anything else in that movie. It's just...
and Megatron Cyborg, like I know there's all the other shits. Like I will never like that design. I will never like how it looks.
Ever. He looks like someone like drew what they thought Cyborg looked like in MS Paint, and then made that from that drawing.
What's bad is like we have a TV show with a shit budget with a cyborg that looks better. He's wearing a tracksuit and he looks fucking a million times better.
I mean, so like I've been watching Titans, right? I watched a lot of it while very high yesterday. Just extremely high.
You never lost your hands, did you?
No, I never lost my hands. Not once. But I had a great time. And guess what? Some of the costumes are super cheap.
They're fucking stupid looking at times.
Someone's like, wow, you just have like $50 more than the CW people had, clearly.
Starfire throughout that show looks like they ran out of budget and just like borrowed clothes from our like surrounding production.
Which is why like that they just released what she's gonna look like in the third season. It's like, holy shit, she actually looks like fucking Starfire for once.
Yeah, she looks really good in that release. But here's the thing. There are times where they really nail some of these characters where I'm like, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. I've talked at length about the Arrow version of Slade on here and how much I like him. The Titans version of Slade is Slade. Like, he's the version of Slade that's always been in my head for years. Like, cold and calculating and just like one step below real humanity. And just very quiet.
Is he more like the Teen Titans cartoon Slade?
Yeah, just like, and has a thought out plan for everything. His the clip of his gun turns into a knife.
Okay, all right, that's great.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's fucking Slade. And like, I don't know, I can't think of a single moment like that in all of the. Yeah, like nothing in Justice League ever has those moments for me where I'm like, wow, you really nailed that. You really got to the core of that character and you put that on screen for me. That doesn't happen for me in those DC movies. And that's my biggest problem with them is like
until after Justice League. Which I would say Shazam is the one I think that like
yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. After Justice League, I think they figured it out. And of course, I think Patty's movie, of course, nails Wonder Woman as far as I'm concerned. But every other one up until after Justice League, it's just like, this is like people who don't even know who these characters are made this movie.
I think he's a super guy. He flies. How would that make him feel?
So like, give me 4 hours of Snyder not understanding the characters that he's playing with whatsoever. Cool. I can't fucking wait.
I hope there's a point where Bruce Wayne is reading Atlas Shrugged.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing, Eric. Like we joke about this.
I'm not joking. I'm waiting for that.
I joked in one of the chats that he's going to have an animated Ayn Rand take over the movie for 10 minutes. If that actually happened, if he was just like, I'm pulling out my
objectivism.
My objectivism dick, and I'm gonna fucking just hit you all in the fucking face with it. You're all gonna fucking feel it as I pound objectivism into your fucking souls. Just get it away from me.
That woman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
know. I'm waiting for the mustache cut.
I want
give us the mustache cut.
I want the weed cut.
Give us the mustache cut. Give us the butthole cut. Give us
the teeth cut. I want the teeth cut. Sonic.
The teeth cut. Sonic with his human teeth. Yes.
It would change if they had the original design.
Yeah, I know we've talked about this to death, but who is this for?
for
Who is
A couple people
Well-
in our podcast chat.
Right, I know
mhm.
at least one person this seems to be for, and I'm still utterly fucking baffled. I
don't know.
just do not
Connor
understand.
seems to be hyped about it. I don't care. Like,
And
Yeah.
you know, for his sake, I hope it's great.
You know,
For-
I don't want anyone to be disappointed by this. I really don't. But at the same
Right.
time,
I
it's
want
like,
everyone to be disappointed.
Yes.
I don't.
You
I
want a
want-
repeat of Trump's loss. You want
Yes,
everybody
I want
who's
to
on
hear
this
from it.
train to just fall.
I
Mhm.
want it to be everything we all have said that, like, why Snyder shouldn't have been doing these movies.
Right.
I want it to be
Yeah.
all of it plus an extra 10 pounds.
My point is, I don't want people to be miserable because of it. But
Sure.
I really want it to fail.
You
Yeah,
say
I-
that, but you know that the first journalist who says something bad about this is going to get their
it's gonna be a
Twitter
flame war.
shut down from people
Oh, yeah.
flaming
well,
them.
I can't wait till the first hour comes out and it's like not that different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
People are like, why is
Mhm.
what are we waiting for?
It's going to be the same thing, but the
Fuck
lighting
longer.
and color grading is going to be a little bit different.
It's going to be
That's-
more red hues, less blue. Or was it red
Right.
and now we're going to get blue?
Well,
I don't
it's
even
going to
know.
be more of that grayish color, that monochrome thing that's
It's
in
just-
like half of the movie.
At this point in time, I just don't give a fuck.
No,
Yeah.
you're not excited for like the 3 minutes of Joe Morton and the 1.5 seconds of the actress playing Iris West.
No, I don't want that.
I just
There are
go ahead.
hundreds of hours of better entertainment I could be watching or playing or
Mhm.
anything other than watching like Justice League again for 4 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my whole thing is that like it's not going to magically make this as good as everything that Marvel had been doing.
It's
Like,
not
it's
gonna-
just it can't. It's not possible. Like
it's not
DC
Kingdom
and
of
Warner
Heaven.
Brothers already fucked that up.
It's not
Mhm.
Kingdom of Heaven. It'll never be Kingdom of Heaven.
Well,
No.
here's the thing: different isn't better, and
No,
people
right.
don't understand that.
Well,
It-
beyond that, like more from the same person responsible for the clusterfuck that was the original film, which we can get into semantics if you want to about how much he was responsible for it, but more from the same person that did what they did to Man of Steel isn't going to be good.
And
Mm,
I
And
I don't wanna-
BVS, like,
Yeah.
let's not forget about that.
I'm
and I don't want to make it seem like we're shitting on a dude because like his daughter died. Like that's
Mhm.
a shitty situation.
It
I've-
is.
And I'm
Mhm.
glad he's at least getting some comeuppance of it, but I don't understand why.
That doesn't
why-
make you. That doesn't improve your filmmaking, writing, or storytelling.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's I don't know.
Like, you would be better off. I honestly say this: you'd be better off spending 4 hours watching like 4 hours of Justice League, like the first 4 episodes of the
Mhm.
Yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
so much better.
yeah. And I don't want to make this sound like I'm just fully anti Zack Snyder as an artist. That's something I feel like I have to say a lot because as an artist, I think he's an interesting dude. I
Yeah,
don't agree with
Watchmen
him
is a
politically,
good-
obviously. And
Watchmen's a good film.
300 is arguably a good film.
on the Watchmen thing, the more I think about Watchmen, the more I'm like, that's his worst adaptation, actually. But yeah, a lot of his
It's not
other
his
stuff
worst
is
film,
really
though.
interesting. It's not his worst film, but it's like I'm
I
not
guess it's
sure
like-
that the good
Mhm.
parts of it don't come from the fact that there are large sections where he didn't ruin Alan Moore's work.
Oh well, he's
where
also
he-
working with like some of the best material.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's like there are large sections where it's like, oh, you didn't fuck this up. You did.
Because like the movie that is all him is fucking horrendous. And Sucker
Right.
Punch is horrendous.
Yes.
And that's what I point to. And people are like, oh, but he's good. I'm like, well, the biggest movie he's done he had no IP to work with is fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
And weird. And like really fucking weird.
Well, the one that he was directly involved with all aspects of it, because when he's just directing and he has somebody else's script, I think he does good stuff. Like I've enjoyed. Now I don't know what this zombie thing that's going to be. What is it on Netflix? The one about the zombie rape thing, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah.
I love that it's about the zombie rape. The zombie rape is apparently like a throwaway joke.
Well,
but yes.
Now, from the guy who made Sucker Punch, that involves lots of rape.
Yeah, one
that movie is basically about.
He does suck.
No, Sucker Punch is about rape, Lou. It's a movie where at the end she wins because she liked getting a lobotomy, which is a stand-in for rape in that film.
No, they're getting raped. See, they're getting raped the whole time.
Yeah, they're getting raped in multiple ways, in every possible way.
This is the worst.
Hunter, you should. Here's the thing. I don't normally suggest people go watch video essays on
I don't normally suggest rape.
But because video essays are very dependent on the taste of the person and how. Yeah,
I've seen Sucker Punch. I will no longer ingest any Sucker Punch.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to watch Sucker Punch. Look up Maggie May Fish. Fun story. Like great granddaughter, or maybe another removed of Albert Fish. Yeah, but she is a video essayist. She wrote for Cracked for many years.
If she compares her great grandfather to Zack Snyder,
is she okay?
No, it never comes up. It's one of those things where I think she put out a tweet once where it was like a meme about like what crazy stuff did your ancestor do? And she retweeted like look up
a lampshade out of skin. Yeah.
Is she okay though? Like she doesn't have any of the like.
No, I don't think she is. But no, she's a very funny comedian and writer, and she did a 3-part video essay on Zack Snyder.
Nice.
I think the full title of it is "We Are Already Dead," and she goes into some. Yeah, she goes into some stuff about his entire filmography, how he ruined the ending of Watchmen, essentially, because of his objectivism bullshit, how Dawn of the Dead is kind of Islamophobic, kind of.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
I haven't watched that movie in long enough to even know how it is.
It's very... It's a point that she makes that I think is a little bit tenuous, but it's still not a terrible point to make. But she goes into his whole filmography, and she acknowledges the same stuff that I would acknowledge as being promising or good about his work, but points out how he's not a smart man and his art is flawed in many, many ways. And I'm being far crueler than I think she is. She's actually very dignified and smart for criticism.
Hold on. Are you saying the dude who's super into objectivism may not be very smart?
I'm saying there's a possibility.
There's
a
no
fucking
way.
moron.
I would like to make one small point there, though, is that yes, there are elements of objectivism in the ending of Watchmen, but I also think it's the best way they could have ended that, because
Sure.
I don't think the giant squid would have worked. Like, it worked for the HBO show because it was showing you the aftermath, like, and it was brief.
Mm-hmm.
It also
Yeah,
the squid in the HBO show helps because like it wasn't in the movie, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's way. I think the thing is like it wasn't written where it could have worked in that movie. I think you could have wrote it in a way where it worked, and you chose not to.
So I don't want to go too into it, but like one of her points is about Rorschach's death and how Snyder kind of makes Rorschach out to be a hero,
He's not.
Well, it's the fans of the original comic tried to make him out to be a hero, and Alan Moore was like, he was supposed to be a reflection of comic book fans.
And
So,
Snyder is
Funny how that
clearly
worked out.
yeah.
Snyder's clearly one of those fans, I think, because if you remember, he has Dan screaming out in agony after Rorschach dies. Dan's not even in the panel. Nobody's there.
He dies by himself.
In the book.
They understand why. They're
so
it works. It's right.
Yeah, it's a bunch of little choices like that kind of stick out and are like, I don't know how I feel about that. But I don't think she even mentions the squid thing because I don't think anybody with a brain thinks that choice was a bad idea. And that's not even him. That, I believe, came from David Cage, if I remember correctly, who wrote that script. Or not David Cage. David.
I was going to say, what David Cage did, really? When he wasn't busy writing Beyond Two Souls?
I can't remember his actual name, but Solid Snake.
David Hayter.
David Hayter. Yeah, I believe that comes from his. Because I distinctly remember him talking about writing Watchmen and saying that he had that ending. I might be wrong. He might have said the exact opposite. But my memory is
one
him
of the
saying,
writers listed.
Yeah. Well, it's just a matter of when he submitted his draft, was it still the squid or was it Dr. Manhattan? I remember him saying it was Manhattan by the time he had submitted his final draft. So I don't know. But I don't think that was a Snyder choice.
I mean, they should have taken the very bold choice and gone with the Terry Gilliam version of the ending. Hunter, Lou, are you aware of what that ending is?
No.
I'm vaguely aware of it.
I want to know.
It's some bonkers shit.
So you'll have to back me up on this if I misremember anything, Arlen. But basically, what happens is they get what turned into a comic book. Like, isn't that basically
something like that?
Yeah,
There's sort of a not end of Swamp Thing, but like in Swamp Thing, or Animal Man, where they reveal that there's a like a parliament of creation. There's a similar thing that happens where they like interact with the real world. They become some sort of art or something,
like an Animal Man where he meets Grant Morrison,
something like that.
I looked up a thing. Here, let me read this. It says Gilliam's ending involved Manhattan traveling back in time and preventing the accident which turned him into a nuclear super being from ever happening. The film would cut then to modern day Times Square in 1991, where a kid was reading a comic book and Rorschach, Night Owl, and Silk Spectre standing there as costume entertainers, effectively showing that without Manhattan, superheroes remained a novelty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the crazy ending.
I mean, it is weird. It's a crazy ending. If you go off the logic of Watchmen, though, it's not that insane but you have to remember the whole pirate comic book thing where they don't have superheroes. It's a weird choice. It's a very Gilliam choice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also his producer wanted to have Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dr. Manhattan and Robin Williams as Rorschach.
I actually don't hate the idea because, like, if you're gonna have a dude walking around basically naked at that time period, Arnold makes sense.
Yeah, but that falls into the. Well, actually,
the biggest problem with it is that this is late 80s, early 90s Arnold, who is very much doing like comedy stuff.
He would have done Twins, where he plays like a smart character, right?
Right. Like he was doing a lot of that at the time.
Twins
he wasn't quite in full. Yeah, because he wasn't in full Jingle All the Way mode yet, but he was.
Oh no, that's like 97.
He was inching there.
What's that, Hunter?
Last action hero, 94?
94, 93, I think.
Or
is that 91?
I mean,
Last action hero is 93.
I mean,
93.
I think actually, in retrospect, Arnold probably would have worked for that because it would have played into the whole idea of them being comic book characters. Yeah. And playing up the comic book character aspect of it. But I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm looking at so this is around, so Arnold's doing, say, what's like an early mark, like 86 at this time.
Yeah,
It's
something like that.
So he did Raw Deal, Predator, The Running Man, Red Heat, Twins, and then Total Recall's 1990.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's weird. Like 10 years earlier, I mean, there was no Watchmen yet, but he's almost a better Dr. Manhattan then. And even 10 years later, he would be an even better Dr. Manhattan. But at that point, it's a weird pick.
Yeah.
10 years earlier, that's pre-Conan.
Right, and he's still just like a slab of a person. Like he's not very vocal. He's not known for comedy, and like the monotone. It's something he could have pulled off, I think.
If you got like the Predator or Commando Arnold, it works.
Yeah, but I feel
Running
like
Man.
you'd have to extricate the entire like him being a scientist, because it wouldn't work him as an American scientist. Like,
no, you would make
say
him
he was an Austrian, that was experimented on. Yeah, I can see that. But once again, that's I don't know. That was part of.
It definitely stuck with someone, and that's how he ended up blue in Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd probably have to have a different actor play him pre-particle stuff.
That would actually be a good choice.
That would be a good idea. That's what I'm saying. Like him and like floating around naked in blue, like that era Arnold, like Predator Arnold, would work.
Yes.
But remember, Jesse, if you went into war, you wouldn't take any of these fools with you.
Yeah.
I would. I think we're skipping over the more important part here. Is Robin Williams as Rorschach?
Yeah.
Why?
He was apparently interested in it.
What was he doing?
Because I think Robin Williams has always wanted. He's always been a comic book fan, as far as I know.
He's always wanted to do this kind of stuff.
His serious acting was always fantastic.
Yeah.
Rorschach is weird, but I could see him as Dan. I could really see him as Dan.
See, you got Michael Keaton for Dan.
Michael Keaton is Dan. Well, duh. Michael Keaton is Dan. But I think Robin as Dan would work, because I think he can play.
It's like in a weird part of his career. He's like nothing. He's out of Morgan
doing stand-up, wasn't he?
And he's doing stand-up.
Well, he's doing stand-up again. He's not really doing movies.
His first big movie after is 1990, I think, is Dead Poets Society is 89.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And Awakenings is 90.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Awakening. But Dead Poets Society.
Awakenings is real fucking weird.
Isn't that the one written by J.J. Abrams? Because J.J. Abrams has been around forever.
It's the one with De Niro where they're giving them a drug and they've been locked in their bodies for a long time.
Okay. So I'm thinking of the movie starring Harrison Ford, which is about the exact same thing that is written by J.J. Abrams.
It was in 91, sorry to interrupt, that they wanted to do the Gilliam version of this movie, or of Watchmen.
Okay, yeah, so that's the time period of Hook and the Fisher King.
Yeah.
And that's into Arnold doing comedies at that point.
Maybe I could.
Yeah.
Although that is Terminator 2.
Yeah.
So he's also at the ultimate shreddedness at that time as well.
Yes.
Well, yes, yeah, but for Manhattan, he would actually need to get bulkier, which is he wasn't as bulky at the
Terminator
time.
1 bulky, not T2 bulky.
Yeah, T2 he was much slimmer.
He was slimmer but more shredded. T1 he's a monster of being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He looks like just a giant steak walking around. Just
a single muscle.
What is the terrible? There's a really dumb quote. It's like, if it wasn't Arnold, we would have had to have built him, because no one else.
Something like that. Well, because their original idea was O.J. Simpson, which
you've never heard that.
It wouldn't have been that far off. Yeah. Do we want to wrap up, guys? Being that we've been going for probably close to 2 hours now. Yeah.
We should wrap up.
What was that?
We should wrap up.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger's 80s and 90s movies anymore?
No, I don't. I lived through it, so I don't need to talk about it.
He lived through all time. He should probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's just
Eric,
I'll be glad.
Dr. Manhattan?
Let's just all be glad that we did not get the Paul Greengrass Watchmen, which is the thing that almost happened.
I don't like.
How would I don't know. We're not going down that. You can't bring that up at the end.
That's a different podcast that we're not part of that does all this.
Yeah. Green grass.
Wow.
Can you imagine cutting away from Night Owl punching people in the face to okay. Okay.
There's a point where Night Owl kills a man with a book. Anyways. That was our rambling and kind of subjectless show, which ended up being a lot about Zack Snyder in the tail end there. I've been your host, Eric Fedorchuk. You can find me on Instagram at Eric_Fedor. There's pictures of dogs and cats and food and comics. Also floating around the Phantom Zone and other places and doing other things and lots of stuff like that. And everybody wear your fucking masks. Just wear your fucking masks. If you don't, I'll fucking
find you.
Exactly. Like, just fucking wear them, you idiots.
I want to leave my house. Can someone please?
Yeah. I'd like to not feel like I have the same routine every week, which is go to the grocery store once a week, and then every other day I just come home and sit in my house. Please, you're killing the music industry. All the things that you were screaming about wanting to have reopened, guess what? You assholes are the ones killing it. So congratulations. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. I don't even know how to follow that. I have no idea.
Follow me on Instagram at the reverse Connor.
There is LHP stuff happening, so when that comes out, go listen to it. We're going to be doing a View to a Kill for the Bond show. That's going to be a big episode because there's going to be a lot of guests to talk about that just trash fire of a film. So look forward to that.
Hunter.
Don't follow me on social media. But unless you follow at the first Connor on Instagram.
It doesn't work for you, Hunter. I'm sorry. That just
you can't do that.
It doesn't work. You're trying to take control of it, and you're never going to be able to. It's a machine that's become sentient.
Here's what you should do. You should message Connor on Instagram and tell him how much Domino's sucks.
Yes. Their pizza is trash. Don't buy it. It's garbage.
So you can check out some of the other shows. We just on the comic show we read New Mutants, the Demon Bear saga, and then we watched for a movie party New Mutants. So those are good companion piece. And we might be doing similar stuff with some other X movies to make it like a trilogy. Maybe some Days of Future Past and I don't remember. I think Wolverine Origins was the other one we talked about. Because we're masochists.
Sorry.
And to tie in the last thing I'll say is to tie into Arlen's thing. Rest in peace, Arecibo Observatory from GoldenEye.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
All the hurricanes and stuff over the last couple of years, it's too dangerous to even repair, and they're taking it down.
Yep. Yeah. Oh well, Lou, did you want to share what your Instagram was real quick? I forgot.
Yeah. You can send all of your love and hate and all your pictures of you not wearing a mask and holding up your signs to get the count, to change the counts, to young_Kami.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Yep. Well, it's too late for you to try and claim ownership on anything now.
You should still message Connor on all social media and tell him
definitely message me. Definitely message me, and we could talk about how games of service is a positive thing for the gaming community.
Definitely do that. And I definitely won't chew you out for that.
No reason to. All right. Well, I guess with that, everybody, bye.
Bye.
Adios.